the seller. A lot of these listing agents right now who get REO homes and short sale homes get them in bulk, and they're not the most cooperative people. And quite frankly, some of them are flat ass lazy. Because they can be, because you get 25, 30 listings. They're like, okay, my job is to get the listing. They got the listing. They don't know much about the house, and they really represent the bank, and they have an attitude about it. Some of them, I can name some names right now. Some people that are flat out jerks who are listing the houses. So who do you want to call a jerk? Who works for the bank and say, hey, show me your house, and what do you think I can do on the price? You're not going to get any response. The biggest thing to having a realtor for you on your side of the deal, I think, is that one of the things you get out of many of them is they have kind of this early notification, and I get one every day. So you set up something with your realtor that says, okay, I want to live in Carmichael, not all of Carmichael. I want to live in Carmichael in this particular school district, and I only want a 4-bedroom house with 2 baths, and I want a pool. You can get as tight as you want, and when that particular criteria hits the market, that realtor's email will hit you immediately. And so before it really kind of becomes out on the public knowledge, at least you'll get a jump. And sometimes a jump might only mean a couple hours, right? So, you're looking at this, you're looking at your little iPhone there, and boom, you finally see a listing that meets your criteria. You may have to drop what you're doing and go look at it.
Right. And that buyer's realtor is going to be paid by the seller.
Yeah.
Not by you.
That's right. So there's no cost to you. And I think I had someone mention this to me yesterday. He said, well, I think I'll find more flexibility in the pricing or concessions if the listing agent, just has it all in-house. They don't have to pay a buyer's agent. And I said, I don't know how that would happen. I don't ever see a listing agent saying, well, here you keep my commission, because there is a lot of work in there. If the listing agent is going to represent you also, they're doing twice as much work. There's a lot of work to be a realtor, even once you find the house, in terms of getting inspections and tracking down things and showing you, and all those things. And so there are listing agents that don't want to do that. They just want to deal with getting the property, on the market, ready to show. That's their specialty. And there are agents, and I know some great ones, who just love tramping out there and digging through and finding you the right house and knocking on doors and finding you a property, and that's what they do. They love it. And it doesn't cost you a dime.
Right.
It doesn't cost you a dime. And so I implore you that if you are someone who's going to get into the home buying game and you've never done it before, that you come in with some patience, you come in with some understanding that I know that it's a huge decision for you. You finally have decided, I'm going to do this, right? This is a big jump, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes as everybody else around me has made. I'm going to come in, I'm going to find something that's right for me. I'm going to kind of find something that I can afford. I've got my money saved up. I'm confident in my job. I'm going to do this. So you finally made that jump, that hurdle, and you kind of assume like, okay, the whole world should be giving me a big hug and kiss because I'm ready to, and 25 houses to look at. And you come out there and you find out that there's professional buyers out there that are snapping these things up all cash, and the stuff that's left on the street is a big pile of junk, and it's not what you want, and it's frustrating. So finding a good agent is very helpful. Finding a good lender is incredibly helpful. And because I say this all the time on the show, and I'll say it again, do not go out shopping for Porsches when you should be shopping for VWs. They're both made by the same manufacturer now, and they're both decent cars. But once you sit in a Porsche, a VW is never going to look as good. And so make sure you know what you should be looking at. Make sure you know what the criteria is. Make sure you've had someone look at your income, because what you put on your application as your income is generally not your income. There's a lot of very creative thinkers out there in terms of what they made, particularly those in the self-employed world.
Yes.
They'll always list the best year they ever had in their life as their income. I made $70,000 on their application. You made $70,000 in 08. You made 13 last year.
That was your gross sales.
Yeah, we're going off of your more current income. So I think it's critical that you not only you get pre-approved, you take one more step, and that one more step is you give John your tax information. So you give him an application, and John will take for granted what you say. He'll pull your credit, and he'll look and say, okay, based on what you've told me, you qualify for 210. But I always insist that we go one step further. Let me see what you told me. Let me see your income, and I'll tell you where it comes back to sting you, even for just a flat W-2 employee. Guy works for the state, works for the county, works for SMUD. I don't care what. Hey, my income is $4,800 a month, right there on my W-2, right there on my pay stub. $4,800 a month. Firemen, you guys are the worst at this.
2106 expenses.
Yeah, 2106 expenses, unreimbursed business expenses for things you bought, uniforms, vehicle expense, whatever, or that little hobby business you've got on the side. My Amway business, the firemen have. I haven't met a fireman yet that doesn't have 6 side jobs. Where he's doing things on the side. Great income, and and they do that so they can write things off.
Right.
And if you tell the IRS and the government that you lost, $1,300 a month doing whatever, we have to assume you lost $1,300 a month doing whatever, and it has to come off your income. So we're going to use kind of that net bottom line. And I even had a CPA ask me this week, well, do you take into consideration their self-employment business losses on a side job? Yes. Well, yes. If you put to the IRS that you lost $10,000 on a side job, and then you lost $10,000 to a job, we have to take that off your income. I mean, you can't go to the IRS and say I lost 10 grand and go to the FHA and say I didn't lose 10 grand. They're just two different stories. So get it checked out. I mean, go to the one extra step, get yourself pre-approved, find yourself a good realtor. This is the time. I swear to you, 5 years from now, if you had the opportunity to buy something right now and you don't, you will look back and you will be so incredibly sorry that you let 3 and 4% interest rates slide through. You let that house you've been watching at 150 or 250 or whatever go away. You'll rue the day that you did not jump on that property and do it. And so this is the time. We're in the right market. We're going the right direction. This is your time to get on that train again, because that house in 5 years is going to be worth more than today, I guess, and I predict. And that's how you're going to get the next house, and that's how you're going to get your first rental house, and that's how you're going to finally get out of one level to the next, is one day at a time. So
that's right.
I appreciate you guys listening, and I appreciate our callers today and all our winners. Enjoyed another good show, John. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you next Saturday out there in the dirt.
Always good to be here.
And bring our noise reduction headphones next weekend, because it's going to be loud out there when the
Looking forward to
four
it.
strokes fire up. So you can find us. You can find John Farrow or myself on the Comstock Mortgage website if you'd like. 338-9400 is my number during the week, and JeffTarbell.com is my website. That music means we got to roll. Hey, I know this finger right here. We'll see you next week, everybody. Aloha.